Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate 16th Combined Commanders Conference in Kolkata to discuss national security, strategic reforms and the future of the armed forces. Prime Minister also to launch multiple key projects in Bihar. Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu hails the resilience of Israel-US alliance as he visits Western Wall in Jerusalem along with Marco Rubio. Arab states to hold emergency summit after Israel's strike on Hamas in Doha. Romania summons the Russian ambassador to protest the entry of Russian drone into its airspace. Terms Moscow's actions posed a new challenge to Black Sea security. And India's public service broadcaster Doordarshan proudly celebrates 66 years of its inception. The largest and most trusted broadcasting network serves viewers in 190 plus countries on various platforms. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will take part in the Combined Commanders Conference on Monday. The theme for this year's conference is Year of Reforms, Transforming for the Future. Defence Minister, National Security Advisor, Chief of Defence Staff and Defence Secretary will also attend the event. The CCC 2025 will focus on reforms, transformation and change and operational preparedness. Well, the deliberations will seek to further strengthen the armed forces, which are agile and decisive in an increasingly complex geostrategic landscape. Also, after the conference, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to travel to Purnia, Bihar, where he will inaugurate the newly constructed terminal building of the airport. Further, he'll also lay the foundation stone and inaugurate multiple development projects worth around 36,000 crore rupees at Purnia and address the gathering on the occasion. He'll also launch the National Makhana Board in Bihar. Makhana and Bihar have a very strong link, and thus the NMB will benefit several farmers associated with this sector. And Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramagulam, who is on India visit, is undertaking a tour to many states. His next stopover will be Tirupati, a city in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. The visiting Prime Minister, along with his wife, will offer prayers at Tirumala Temple, after which Mauritius Prime Minister Ramagulam will depart from India. During a week-long visit, several MOUs inked for cooperation in technology development projects with India. Mauritius Prime Minister, along with Prime Minister Modi, announced that both the countries are not just partners but family. The visiting leaders, along with his spouse, offered prayers at the Kashi Vishwanath Temple for prosperity of their nation and public welfare. Later, Mauritius Prime Minister also visited the holy city of Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. With this visit, Mr. Ramagulam became the second head of the state after the Prime Minister of Bhutan to offer prayers at the temple. Well, the Mauritius Prime Minister spent about half an hour in the temple complex and also reviewed the construction work. And in a major reform initiated to streamline, simplify, enable and rationalize the revenue procurement process in the Ministry of Defence, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has approved a new Defence Procurement Manual. Well, the budget for revenue procurement in Budget Estimate 2025 is about 1 lakh crore rupees. In a major thrust to self-reliance, the manual will expedite revenue procurement for the services, enable Indian industry, including startups and MSMEs. Working capital issues faced by industries have been eased by providing supportive financing options and relaxing unnecessary penalties. Research and development by industry, academia and defence public sector units will get boost and support with several enabling provisions. And the maiden bilateral maritime exercises between India and Greece will be steered by Indian naval ship Trikand, which was called at Salamis Bay during her ongoing deployment to the Mediterranean Sea. During the visit, INS Trikand will look to enhance interoperability, refine tactical skills and deepen operational synergy. Also, during the port call at Salamis Bay, INS Trikand will engage in a host of activities to enhance bilateral and multilateral cooperation and collaboration. These include interaction with senior military officials, planning discussions, cross-deck visits and cultural exchanges to promote people-to-people connect. This will be followed by sea phase of the exercise. On completion of the bilateral exercise, the ship will proceed for the next phase of deployment in the region. And 3 terrorist sympathizers were arrested along with a huge cache of arms and ammunition in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu Inspector General of Police said dogged determination and relentless investigation led to the arrest. He added that 07 AK assault rifles were also recovery, of which 04 were recovered earlier, and a large quantity of warlike stores. The investigation scuttled an attempt by outfit to revive terror activities in the border district. Sources say further investigations are underway and more raids and arrests are likely. And staying with Jammu and Kashmir, following the devastating cloudburst last month in Kathua, a major disruption occurred on the Pedu Nala along the Mahanpur-Thane axis, resulting in the washing away of an existing bridge and an under-construction bridge. Well, the project Sampark of Border Roads Organization worked around the clock to clear access to the site by mobilizing excavators and heavy machinery. The hard work resulted in re-established connectivity between Bilawar, Kathua and Dhar, a vital route for local civilians and administration alike. And now let's have a look at these visuals of BRO personnel and machines diverting water channels and clearing debris and restoring the access to Ranjit Sagar Dam. And the first dedicated parcel train from Badgam to Adarsh Nagar, Delhi was flagged off by Lieutenant Governor of J&K Manoj Sinha this morning. The new freight train service is a big step for the apple growers of the Union Territory to transport their produce to different parts of the country. The Lieutenant Governor expressed gratitude towards Prime Minister Modi for ushering a new era of trade and business for apple growers and traders of the valley. He said that it will significantly reduce transit time and increase income opportunities for thousands of farmers and boost agricultural economy of the region. And now some weather updates from parts of India. The Indian Meteorological Department has forecasted heavy rains in several parts of India. However, the western state of Rajasthan witnessed the stark contrast. As per the IMD forecast, there will be withdrawal of the southwest monsoon from parts of West Rajasthan ahead of its normal date. Also, a low-pressure area over North Telangana and Vidarbha is likely to bring heavy to very heavy rainfall to isolated areas including Assam, Meghalaya, Bihar and parts of Maharashtra. Also, widespread rainfall with thunderstorms and lightning is expected over sub-Himalayan West Bengal and Sikkim, Nagaland, Manipur and Tripura. Heavy rainfall is also forecast for regions like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Odisha. Strong surface winds are likely over coastal Andhra Pradesh and Rayalaseema. And the pilgrimage to Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine remains suspended for the 21st consecutive day today because of inclement weather and safety concerns. Although the yatra was scheduled to resume on Sunday, that is yesterday, incessant rain at Bhavan and along the track had led to the further postponement until further notice. Despite the delay, devotees continue to express strong faith in visiting Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine and hope to resume the pilgrimage soon. Meanwhile, the Mata Vaishno Devi Shrine Board is distributing prasad to devotees at the Ban Ganga Gate. The pilgrimage was suspended on August 26th, hours before a major landslide hit the route, leading to a shrine that resulted in the death of 34 pilgrims and injured 20 others. And Doordarshan, one of the two divisions of public broadcaster Prasar Bharati, is celebrating its 66th Foundation Day today. Established on September 15, 1959, DD is one of India's largest broadcasting organizations in terms of studio and transmitter infrastructure. Over the years, Doordarshan has been expanding its presence and visibility among the masses. With modern technological changes, Doordarshan has gone digital and reached the palms of the individuals. Doordarshan has forayed into the digital space with a focus on making video available on demand. Also, the credibility is the USP of Doordarshan. In today's age of breaking news, Doordarshan has been able to maintain its tradition of providing accurate and up-to-date information to its viewers. Doordarshan serves its viewers through various delivery platforms such as cable, DTH, IPTV, News on Air, mobile app, various YouTube channels, and with the international channel DD India having a global presence in 190 plus countries on various platforms. Also, India is observing the Engineers' Day today, marking the birth anniversary of renowned and greatest engineer, Bharat Ratna Shri Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya. Sir Visvesvaraya is largely regarded as the creator of contemporary Indian engineering methods. He made groundbreaking contributions to the field of civil engineering, including the design and implementation of significant infrastructure projects, which influenced modern engineering practices and national development in India. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his greetings on the Engineers' Day, sharing an X. He wrote, and I quote, "Today on Engineers' Day, I pay homage to Sir M. Visvesvaraya, whose brilliance left an indelible mark on India's engineering landscape. I extend warm greetings to all engineers who, through their creativity and determination, continue to drive innovation and tackle tough challenges across the sectors. Our engineers will continue playing a crucial role in the collective efforts to build a Viksit Bharat." Unquote. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. India's Enforcement Directorate has intensified its action against illegal online betting platforms in connection with the money laundering case related to the One-Into-Bet betting app. The ED has issued summons to Bollywood actress Urvashi Rautela and actress turned MP Mimi Chakrabarti. The 10th state-level Pencak Silat Championship ended in Srinagar with over 1,200 athletes from across J&K taking part in it. Players welcomed news of an international coach coming soon for a special training camp. Excitement is also building for the upcoming Junior Asian Championship. Coaches say Jammu and Kashmir is ready to host global events thanks to rising talent and better sports facilities. In Mumbai, stars Varun Sood, Irina Rudakova and Sanskruti Sasa Salunke joined a beach cleanup drive to promote a Discovery reality show Ranis of the Jungle Season 2. The event highlights plastic pollution and its harm to marine life. Over 1,000 volunteers will take part on the 20th. For every 10 kg of recyclable waste collected, a geometry set is donated to children in orphanages. And still to come, DD India News Hour. Qatari Prime Minister reiterated that Israeli strike won't stop mediation efforts for Gaza peace. Aiming at a major push to expand nuclear power, United Kingdom to sign a nuclear deal with the United States during President Trump's state visit this week. And US President Donald Trump confirms his presence at the funeral of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Arizona. Welcome back. You're watching TT India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, updates from West Asia now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday insisted that ties with the United States remained strong despite Washington's unease over the strike in Qatar. Hosting U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Jerusalem, Netanyahu said that relations were as strong and durable as the stones in the Western Wall.
Marco Rubio and his wife, Janet. I think his visit here is a testament to the durability, the strength of the Israeli-American alliance. It's as strong and as durable as the stones of the Western Wall that we just touched under President Trump and Secretary Rubio and their entire team. This alliance has never been stronger, and we deeply appreciate it, not only on behalf of the people of Israel who live today, the generations of Jews who preceded us, and hope that we build our state anew with friends like you.
Well, earlier on Sunday, Rubio offered prayers at Jerusalem's sacred Western Wall in the old city of Jerusalem alongside Netanyahu and U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Rubio's main meetings with officials, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, will take place on Monday before he departs to Britain to join U.S. President Trump. Also, Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani said on Sunday that Israel's recent attack on Doha will not prevent Qatar, Egypt and the United States from continuing their mediation efforts to end the Gaza conflict. While the Qatari Prime Minister made the remarks during a closed-door preparatory meeting with foreign ministers from Arab and Islamic countries held ahead of an emergency Arab-Islamic summit scheduled for Monday to address the Israeli attack.
This Israeli aggression will not lead to anything but aborting de-escalating efforts and confirm the Israeli government's intention to reject peaceful paths to resolving the Palestinian issue and to continue defying international will and the UN Charter, as evidenced by repeated statements by Israeli officials regarding the annexation of Palestinian territories and the illusions of a greater Israel.
Well, the foreign ministers discussed a draft statement on the last Tuesday attack by Israel on a residential building in Doha that housed several Hamas leaders. In his talks, Al Thani stressed that the region cannot achieve comprehensive peace and security unless the Palestinian people obtain their legitimate rights. Qatar's Prime Minister urged the international community to reject double standards and hold Israel accountable. And TT India's Akshay Dongre joins us for more on this. Well, Akshay, given Netanyahu's emphasis on unshakable U.S.-Israel ties despite growing American unease, which we can see, how much strain do you sense behind the scenes, particularly in light of the U.S.'s broader regional goals and its relationship with Qatar?
Well, Lipakshi, one thing that Israel has bombed besides the Hamas leaders is the misconception of the Qatari leadership, as well as the United Arab misconception that just because they have the US bases in their countries, they will be immune to the conflicts that are going on. There have been a lot of sentiments, a lot of rather accusations that many of the Arab nations have long, been part of some sort of conflict in one way or another, directly or indirectly, under the misconception that just because they house huge military bases of the United States of America and their military, they will not see any kind of harm as far as the widening conflict is concerned. That has been demolished by the Israeli strikes, and that is the reason why there is so much of shock and awe from after the attacks that were carried out by Israel. Because earlier we saw that even when the Iranian government launched sort of missiles at the US base in Qatar, Qatar seemed relaxed, Qatar seemed prepared, and it seemed that it had prior information of the impending strikes. But this time it was sudden, and the Qatari leadership as well is now questioning the entire security misconception that they had, that assurances that they were given by the US military and the US leadership. And especially the most shocking factor is the entire fact that they were not aware about the coming strikes. In fact, the US, when they informed the Qatari side of the coming strikes, the bombing had already started. So that is the reason, perhaps, Qatar is now trying to realign its entire security apparatus rather than depending on the Western democracies and the European nations. It is now trying to cobble together an alliance of the countries in the region that are getting impacted by the widening conflict. And it seems that now finally there will be some serious attempts made by the Arab nations to wind down this conflict before the fire reaches their homes. Back to you.
Right. As you said, that Qatar is trying to redefine its security, with Qatar reaffirming its commitment to mediation despite being targeted. How does this reshape its role in the Gaza conflict? And is there a risk that the strike could galvanize more unified Arab Islamic pressure against Israel, as Qatar's Prime Minister urged the international community to reject the double standards and hold Israel accountable?
Right. Lipakshi, I think that this entire a statement that has been given by the Qatari leadership is because they do not have any other option. They have a huge military base there of the United States military, and once it's gone, they have no other protection. They have no no other country that is willing to fill that vacuum. So it seems that the over-reliance on the US and US military, US intelligence, the Qatari people have now been left helpless to find an alternative to the US as far as a net provider of security cover in the region is concerned. And with US moving more toward isolationism, it seems that there will be more attempts in the future to be more self-reliant as far as defenses of the region are concerned by the Arab leadership, especially by investing more money into not just security apparatus, but also fighting terrorism in the region.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for all those details. And some updates now on Russia-Ukraine conflict. US President Donald Trump stated that he's willing to impose sanctions on Russia, but emphasized that Europe must take actions proportional to those of the United States. Well, Trump criticized Europe for buying Russian oil, saying its sanctions are too weak.
Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough. And I'm willing to do sanctions, but they're going to have to toughen up their sanctions commensurate with what I'm doing.
Well, meanwhile, Trump also expressed confidence that a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky would happen relatively soon to find a solution for the ongoing conflict. He added that he would need to attend and lead the discussions since the two leaders strongly dislike each other. And Romania summoned Moscow's ambassador to the foreign ministry, protesting the entry of a Russian drone into its airspace during an attack on neighboring Ukraine. Well, the intrusion comes days after a fellow NATO member, Poland, said it had shot down Russian drones that had violated its airspace as Moscow launched a barrage against Ukraine. Well, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused the Kremlin of testing Romania and wanting to bring the war to Poland and the Baltic with the intrusions. Early on Sunday, NATO member Romania had said that Moscow's action posed a new challenge to Black Sea security also. And the United Kingdom and the United States to sign a deal to work together on boosting nuclear power during US President Donald Trump's state visit this week to help secure investment to fund new plants. Well, Britain's government has launched a major push to expand nuclear power in recent months, pledging to invest $19 billion in a new plant at Sizewell C and advancing plans for a Rolls-Royce unit to build the country's first small modular reactors. Trump to visit the UK for a two-day visit on Tuesday, during which he and Prime Minister Keir Starmer will announce the nuclear power tie-up. The collaboration aims to speed up new projects and investments, including plans expected to be announced by U.S. nuclear reactor company X-Energy and Britain's Centrica to build up to 12 advanced modular reactors in northeast England. While US and UK to also align on $15 billion project to develop advanced data centers powered by SMRs in central England. And the permanent mission of North Korea to the United Nations said the country's position as a nuclear weapon state was irreversible, denouncing U.S. claims for denuclearization. While criticizing the U.S. push for denuclearization as a provocative act of interfering in its internal affairs, Pyongyang defended its nuclear weapons as an inevitable option of defending the country from U.S. nuclear threats. Also, the position of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea as a nuclear weapon state, which has been permanently specified in the supreme and basic law of the state, has become irreversible. And South Korea, the United States and Japan launched their trilateral multi-domain exercise on Monday. The 5-day Freedom Edge exercise got underway in international waters east and south of South Korea's southern island of Jeju from September 15 to September 19th. The ongoing exercise is the third round of the trilateral drills, following previous rounds of the exercise conducted in June and November last year, respectively. It is the first such exercise to be held since President Lee Jae-myung and U.S. President Donald Trump took office. The exercise will feature training aimed at sharpening ballistic missile defense capabilities, as well as air defense exercises, medical evacuation training, and maritime interdiction operation training. And North Korea has slammed U.S., South Korea, Japan trilateral military drills as dangerous. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's powerful sister Kim Yo-jong on Sunday condemned the joint military drills as a reckless show of strength that would bring bad results. According to a statement carried by KCNA, Kim Yo-jong called the drills a dangerous idea, warning that would inevitably bring bad results to themselves. Pyongyang has traditionally criticized those joint drills as rehearsals for invasion and in some cases responded with weapon tests. But Seoul and Washington say they're purely defensive. And U.S. President Donald Trump said he would attend the funeral of conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Arizona. A memorial event for Kirk will be held on September 21st in Glendale, Arizona. Kirk, a staunch ally of President Donald Trump and co-founder of the conservative student group Turning Point USA, was killed by a rifle shot during an outdoor event on September 10th.
It's a very sad weekend in the sense that we lost a great person. I'll be going on early Sunday morning. We're going to Arizona, taking some people with us on Air Force One. Maybe you people are going to be with us, I don't know, but we're going to be going Saturday early on Sunday morning.
Well, lawmakers and senior administration officials gathered at the Kennedy Center in Washington for a prayer service and candlelight vigil honoring conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. During the visit, White House Press Secretary Caroline praised Kirk's legacy, calling him a force in the marketplace of ideas. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard linked the shooting to extremist violence, calling it the definition of terrorism.
President Trump's win in November was fueled in no small part by the tireless work of Charlie, the Turning Point organization that he built from scratch out of a garage, the true essence of the American dream, and the MAGA movement that he helped so many young people join.
Charlie was killed on September 10th. On September 11th, we observed the 24th anniversary of the Islamist terrorist attack on our country 24 years ago. Now, these events have something in common. They were both carried out by those who hold on to ideologies that cannot stand up to scrutiny and challenge. This is the definition of terrorism.
While people gathered at a makeshift memorial for political activist and Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk outside of the Turning Point USA headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona, the right-wing activist was hit by a single bullet while addressing a large crowd at Utah Valley University in the town of Orem on September 10th. While tens of thousands of people protested in the capital Ankara against a court case that could oust the head of the main opposition on Monday after a year-long legal crackdown on hundreds of its members. Protesters chanted for resignation of President Tayyip Erdogan while waving Turkish flags and party banners. The court decision on Monday whether to invalidate the 2023 Congress of the Republican People's Party over alleged procedural irregularities could reshape the party, rattle financial markets and influence the timing of a general election set for 2028. The court could also delay the ruling. The government says the judiciary is independent and denies any political motives. Turkey has detained more than 500 people, including 17 mayors, over the last year as part of corruption investigations. Hundreds of members of the CHP have been jailed pending trial in a sprawling probe into alleged corruption and terrorism links. And still to come on DD India News. US President Donald Trump condemns the brutal beheading of Indian origin Chandra Nagamalaya in Dallas, Texas. Aiming to iron out obstacles to finalize a trade deal agreed in July, South Korea to continue follow-up trade negotiations with the United States. And adolescent star Owen Cooper becomes the youngest actor to win Outstanding Supporting Actor Award at the 77th Primetime Emmys.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, South Korea's top trade envoy Yoo Han-koo is heading to the United States on Monday for follow-up tariff negotiations as the countries struggle to overcome obstacles to finalize a trade deal agreed in July. Details of the broad trade agreement still need to be hammered out, especially around a $350 billion investment fund. Officials in Seoul have said trade talks are being delayed because the terms outlined in a similar deal with Japan, struck with the United States, are unacceptable for South Korea due to foreign exchange market implications. Well, the tariff negotiations are underway at a time when the countries are trying to repair strained ties after a recent U.S. immigration raid that saw the arrest of hundreds of Korean workers at a Hyundai motor battery plant in the state of Georgia, one of South Korea's biggest U.S. investment projects. And as the tension between Venezuela and the United States further escalates, Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Pedrino Lopez said that the U.S. tripled the deployment of spy planes against Venezuela in August. The Venezuelan defense minister in a national broadcast alleged that the U.S. had deployed multiple intelligence gathering aircrafts near its territory to gather information in real time. He also condemned an alleged encounter between the U.S. Navy destroyer, the USS Jason Dunham, and the tuna fishing boat off the coast of La Blanquilla Island, stating that the U.S. did not have authority to carry out the alleged interception. Well, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party on Sunday issued a stern warning that missing the February deadline for national elections could lead to serious national and regional security consequences. BNP's senior leader Salahuddin Ahmed said elections must not be delayed by reforms or justice issues, warning that uncertainty could boost extremists and harm Bangladesh's stability and reputation. Bangladesh's chief advisor, Professor Muhammad Yunus, urged all parties to unite to ensure timely elections and protect democracy. Well, senior advocate Sabita Bhandari has been appointed as the new Attorney General. She's the first woman to be appointed the Attorney General of the Himalayan nation. Issuing a press statement on Sunday, Pradeep Kumar Koirala, spokesperson of the Office of the President, informed that President Ramchandra Paudel had appointed Bhandari to the post of the recommendation of Prime Minister Sushila Karki in accordance with the Article 157(2) of the Constitution. Bhandari's appointment comes following the resignation of former Attorney General Ramesh Badal, who had been appointed to the post on July 17, 2024. President Paudel approved Badal's resignation on Sunday, which took effect on September 9th. And the Indian Navy's anti-submarine warfare corvette INS Kadmat arrived at the port of Suva as part of its three-day goodwill visit to Fiji. With a mission to strengthen defense ties and build people-to-people connections, the aim is to build bridges of friendship through professional exchanges with the Fiji Navy and wider community extendment. INS Kadmat is the second of four indigenous anti-submarine warfare corvettes built under the Indian Navy's Project 28, aimed at enhancing stealth and submarine hunting capabilities. Equipped with advanced weapon and sensors, it plays a vital role in safeguarding India's maritime interest. Well, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva pushed back against harsh U.S. criticism of the conviction of his far-right predecessor Jair Bolsonaro last week on coup charges. In his first public reaction to Bolsonaro's conviction, Brazilian President, in a New York Times opinion column, addressed to U.S. counterpart Donald Trump that he was proud of the Supreme Court verdict, which safeguards our institutions and the democratic rule of law and is not a witch hunt. Lula, in a guest essay titled Brazilian Democracy and Sovereignty Are Non-Negotiable, wrote that his government is open to negotiating anything that can bring mutual benefits. He, however, insisted that Brazil's democracy and sovereignty are not on the table. He further wrote the ruling followed months of investigations that uncovered plans to assassinate him, the Vice President and the Supreme Court Justice. The Brazilian president added that the tariff increase was not only misguided but illogical, citing the surplus of $410 billion in bilateral trade in goods and services the U.S. has accumulated over the past 15 years. And U.S. President Donald Trump condemned the brutal beheading of Indian origin Chandra Nagamalaya in Dallas, Texas. Trump said the accused was previously arrested for terrible crimes including child sex abuse, grand theft auto and false imprisonment, but was released back into our homeland under Joe Biden because Cuba did not want such an evil person in their country. Trump assured the Times for being soft on illegal immigrant criminals is over under his watch. Chandramouli Nagamalaya was killed on September 10th at the motel he managed in Dallas, reportedly in front of his wife and son. The accused, Jordanis Cobos Martinez, was a Cuban national who had previously been arrested on several charges. And Ethiopia celebrated a historic moment as thousands gathered in the capital of Addis Ababa to mark the completion of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, commonly called GERD, Africa's largest hydroelectric project. Built over 14 years on the Blue Nile, the dam promises to power millions of homes and boost the economy. It's a proud symbol of Ethiopian resilience, funded largely by its own citizens. However, tensions remain with Egypt and Sudan over the dam's operations and water allocation from the Nile. And the rising oceans caused by climate change will threaten 1.5 million Australians by the year 2050, says a report warned on Monday. Australia's climate minister says the Australians are already living with the consequences of climate change today, but it's clear every degree of warming we prevent now will help future generations avoid the worst impact in years to come. The report adds to mounting pressure on the Australian government to strengthen its climate policies, especially in coastal regions where infrastructure and housing are increasingly at risk from extreme weather events and rising seas. And Chicago's Mexican community celebrated its Independence Day parade on Sunday, filling downtown streets with music, flags and traditional dress despite a Trump-ordered federal enforcement surge in the city. Mariachi bands performed atop floats as crowds waved Mexican flags and spectators lined the route to watch dancers in traditional attire. The festive scenes came as the Trump administration said it had launched an immigration enforcement action in Chicago and other parts of Illinois called Operation Midway Blitz. Trump hinted at sending troops to Chicago, but so far it's mostly stepped up immigration enforcement. Trump's strategic and the new enforcement push have sparked protest across Chicago and surrounding suburbs. And news now from the world of entertainment. 15-year-old Owen Cooper was named Best Supporting Actor in a limited series for adolescents, making him the youngest winner in the category. The actor, who essayed the role of Jamie Miller in the British crime drama, defeated fellow nominees like Javier Bardem, Peter Sarsgaard, Bill Camp, Rob Delaney and Ashley Walters. The mini-series told the seer story of a 13-year-old boy arrested for the murder of a classmate. The series won a total of 6 awards at the ceremony out of the 30 nominations it earned. And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. A soda delivery truck collapsed into a sinkhole in Mexico City. The rear of the Janitos branded truck sank first, drawing crowds as it went viral on social media. No injuries were reported. Local officials, including mayor, visited the scene to oversee removal efforts. Well, Paris hosts its first ever sports festival, drawing crowds despite growing concerns over budget cuts. Attendees enjoyed various athletic activities, showcasing public enthusiasm for sports. Olympic Committee President stressed the need for ongoing support and said sport matters in our country. Soldiers from Vietnam have completed tough training before their next UN peacekeeping mission. They trained in politics, logistics, medicine and handling emergencies. At military hospital, they practiced real-life rescue drills to improve teamwork and fast decision-making. Their training prepares them for challenges like disasters, diseases and security risks. And still to come on DD India News Hour. GST reforms herald a new era of economic relief and growth for citizens and industries alike. We'll bring you their take. Indian women's hockey team clinches silver at Asia Cup 2025 after hard-fought final against China.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, on to some business news now. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will launch the AI for Viksit Bharat, the opportunity for accelerated economic growth, and Niti Frontier Tech Repository today. The roadmap presents a comprehensive action plan for India to harness the transformative potential of artificial intelligence and convert it into additional economic value by the year 2035. Complementing this, the Frontier Tech Repository brings together over 200 real stories of frontier technologies that are transforming lives and livelihoods at scale across the country. It also provides states with case studies and practical tools to replicate high-impact solutions, fostering a nationwide movement of tech-driven progress. And India's recently announced goods and services tax reforms mark a turning point in the journey towards marking a significant victory for every citizen of the country. The centre, however, expects the simplified structure to immediately bring down prices of essential goods, spur consumption and boost economic activity. Owing to goods and services tax reforms, the dream of the middle-class families will be fulfilled. Even the industries also welcome these initiatives. Let's listen in.
Welcome the recent move of the government to reduce the GST taxes in so many fields. Most of the medicines are come down drastically to 5%. Most of the medicines are exempted fully. We welcome that.
As a common man and middle class families like me, persons we are holding for insurance, it's very useful to us.
This is very useful to our common people. The changes, the GST reforming, like 12 to 5%, like for this essential item.
Because of this tax reduction, it will help us to lead the family budget more simple and more. It will create the more savings for the simple woman in a home.
The GST Council has planned to reduce the GST taxes from 12% to 5%, reduce the food and dietary things. This is very useful to our farmers and our senior citizens and our Indian peoples.
Well, as the Trump administration weighs a fourth extension of the September 17th deadline for ByteDance to sell TikTok's U.S. operations or face a shutdown, Donald Trump on Sunday said the negotiations over TikTok are ongoing and that the app's fate could depend on China.
May or may not. They're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die, or we may, I don't know, it depends, up to China. It doesn't matter too much. I'd like to do it for the kids, they like it. I mean, selfishly speaking, I did very well on TikTok, and I got the youth vote. I got numbers that nobody's ever even come close to in the Republican Party.
Well, Trump also suggested that any deal remains constrained by Beijing's approval, particularly regarding TikTok's algorithm, and noted that broader US-China trade talks will touch on the issue. An extension would underscore reluctance to cut off an app used by about 170 million Americans, even as Congress has pushed for a sale on national security concerns. Well, you're watching DD India News. Our time now for some sports news. India continues their dominant march in the Asia Cup with a commanding 7-wicket win over arch rivals Pakistan in Dubai. Abhishek Sharma, Suryakumar Yadav and India's spinners were the stars of the night, taking the defending champions a step closer to the step 4. Abhishek Mahajan reports for more from Dubai.
Pakistan's wait for a victory against India in men's cricket goes on. Their Asia Cup clash ended in a thumping win for India, who cruised home by 7 wickets. Chasing 128, Abhishek Sharma launched a blistering attack on Shaheen Afridi, smashing 31 of just 13 balls. Captain Suryakumar Yadav and Tilak Verma then ensured India crossed the line with 25 balls to spare. The skipper dedicated the win to the Indian Armed Forces.
We actually stand with all the victims of Pahalgam terror attack, and we stand with their families, also express our solidarity. Also, as I said at PC, that we dedicate this win to our brave armed forces who took part in Operation Sindoor, and as they continue to inspire us all, we'll try our best whenever given an opportunity to inspire them as well, if possible.
Earlier, Pakistan faltered from the very first ball. Hardik Pandya struck immediately in the first legal ball of the match, while Jasprit Bumrah's Yorkers and the spinners' control left them struggling. They could only post 127 for 9 in their 20 overs.
I wanted to bowl first because when we bowled here in the last game against UAE, in the second innings the wicket became a little better and there was a little bit of humidity as well. So I feel we've always been chasing really well, though we felt if we would have batted, I mean, we would have taken that decision in our stride. But yeah, we felt in the second innings it became a little better.
The result gave India their second largest win over Pakistan in T20Is and took them to the top of Group A with 4 points from 2 matches.
So another one-sided affair, another convincing victory for India against Pakistan, and this win has virtually sealed India's place in the Super 4. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Abhishek Mahajan from Dubai International Stadium for DD India.
Well, Indian fans were ecstatic after the empathetic win. DD India's Abhishek Mahajan captured their reactions in Dubai. Take a listen.
Well, that's a fantastic win by India against Pakistan, winning by 7 wickets. We have some fans with us. Fantastic victory by India. What do you want to say?
Amazing. We don't have words to express ourselves. It is such an amazing victory, and in fact, it is one with proper cricketing shots. You know, this shows that how India has improved in terms of its technique, and the young players, hats off to them. I must say that they played the game of cricket to the fullest. We loved it. And it is our day. Jai Mata Di, India, great!
Are you expecting that it would be a one-sided affair?
Yeah, obviously the way India is performing from last couple of decades, so it's quite natural that we are on the game and the new teams, the new boys are playing fantastic. So rock on India, we'll see you on the final and cup will be ours.
And Abhishek Sharma, superb start by him.
Amazing. I think that boy is so confident. I think, you know, that was splendid to watch him going for those 6s and 4s. And, you know, that gives us a good start. So that gives us a good confidence as well. And, you know, going forward then Tilak Verma and, you know, so, S. Sky, of course, you know, he was so calm and poised. You know, that's the way you're supposed to play the game, you know. Hit some 6s, this is T20, you know, and then calm down, calm your nerves and do very well. So amazing game of cricket, really. And hats off to the Pakistanis as well. Of course, they've also, some of the bowlers and also Shaheen Afridi, particularly at that spot, you know, he hit some couple of 6s that gives us the jitters a bit. But then obviously India was much, much better than them. Yeah.
India winning the Asia Cup looks like because the way they have been performing?
Yeah, actually, as I told you that obviously the Asia Cup will be ours. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt about that, man. Absolutely no doubt about that. You know, these guys are good. And as I said, it's a game of cricket with class. That's what India is all about.
All right. Thank you and enjoy. Thank you for speaking with DD India. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Abhishek Mahajan from Dubai International Stadium for DD India.
And Australia defeated India by 8 wickets in the first women's ODI of the 3-match series in Punjab's Mulanpur on Sunday. Batting first, India posted a competitive 281 for 7, but Australia rode on opener Foy Litchfield and Bet Mooney's excellent half-centuries in what was a dominant batting display. Well, Aussies chased down the total in 44.1 overs on a day when India failed to cash in on the opportunities that came their way since they dropped 4 catches in all. They faced again on Wednesday in the second ODI at the same venue. An Indian women's hockey team settled for silver at the Women Asia Cup 2025 in Hangzhou after a 1-4 defeat to host China in the finals. India struck early when Navneet Kaur converted a penalty corner in the first minute. China responded with relentless attacks, and despite some sharp saves from goalkeeper Bichu Devi, captain Aung Zixia equalized in the 21st minute. In the second half, Li Hong's solo strike gave China the lead before Xiao Meirong and Zhong Ziakui sealed the win with quick goals in the final quarter. Despite the loss, India's spirited run earned them a commendable silver medal. Prime Minister Modi congratulated women's hockey team for winning silver medal at the Asia Cup. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.